Okay, good evening, everyone. One more minute. As we are waiting for others to join, a quick question. If you were in the last class, if you were in the first summit, which was on Wednesday, can I see like any reaction? Maybe a thumbs up, a love reaction. Oh, okay, that's nice. It's good to see you all. Oh, very nice. Oh, all right. Thank you. Oh, okay. It's good to see that you came back for the second day. Awesome. And I hope it was impactful. If it was impactful, let me see a heart emoji. If you learned something, if awesome, Charles, nice. Fashola. Fashola. Oh, do you plan to become a, a governor someday? To Fashola. Oh, all right. I can see the love emojis. All right, awesome, awesome. That's good. So today we have two speakers, and both of our speakers would be ready to pour out their wealth of knowledge to us. So if you do not have a writing material, be sure to grab one. I always have one because it's something you can always refer back to. So it's not just to hear. So grab something you can write on, maybe your phone. If you're using your phone, then you could need a writing pad and a pen. That should work. So it's already 7 p.m. So I officially welcome you all to the second day of the Africa Future Leaders Summit 2025. If your emojis are not too busy, please, can I see the virtual clapping? You're welcome to the second day of the summit. Thank you for your active participation. We are still having more of our leaders join us. So in the meantime, we would proceed. Once more, you're welcome. I believe the first session was impactful, and today is going to be better than the first session. I believe. I believe. So if you just pay attention, give your ears, it would be to something to enjoy and then something to also learn from. You're welcome once more. All right, this is going to be our first speaker for today. Our first speaker, Ms. Kaito Chukwudi. She'll be taking us on the psychology of winning global opportunities. She'll be taking us on the psychology of winning global opportunities. So before we allow her to take the stage, would love to read her profile. Let us know about Miss Kaito Chukwu. Who is she? What she does? Where she's from? etc. etc. All right. Kaito Chukwudi is an award-winning engineering and sustainability professional shaping the future of energy access and climate resilience across Africa and beyond. She's currently pursuing a master's in engineering for sustainable development at the University of Cambridge. She brings a unique blend of technical expertise, policy insights, and systems thinking to solve some of the world's most pressing sustainability challenges. Kaito is a B Visionaire, the Mercedes-Benz Fellow, where she's building innovation models that make sustainability engaging for young people. Her work spans energy systems modeling, climate resilience, innovative financing, and project development, from engineering roles in Nigeria's LNG sector to sustainability consulting in the UK. Her leadership and impact have earned her multiple recognitions, including the 2022 Exceptional Young Woman Award, the Top 100 Women Creating a Better Africa, and the SPE Nigerian Girl in STEM Woman Leadership Award. She has represented Africa at global stages such as the International Petroleum Technology Conference, and has contributed to climate focused projects with organizations including Switch Energy Alliance, Susty Vibes, and Climate Technology Solutions. She's passionate about inclusive access, sustainable systems, and human centered innovation. Kaito is as committed to transforming infrastructure as she is to inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. If your emojis are not too busy, can we please give this amazing lady a beautiful round of applause as she takes the stage? Ma'am, if you're around, please, the stage is yours.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me? Hi.
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you. You're
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. And seriously, that profile is too intense. Oh my God. I'm just a regular person, and it's really amazing to be here. Thank you to the team for bringing me on board. Thank you to everyone for showing up. Yeah, I mean, you guys, all of you guys are all high achievers, and so it's such a pleasure to be in you guys' midst. I would share. I have just like a short slide, so I hope that yeah, we would understand each other. And if you probably feel like I'm going too fast or you feel like you need me to reiterate some points, please just let me know. I would definitely come back. And yeah, let me just share my screen. Uh, yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah. Hope you can see my screen because I can't see anybody right now, just my screen. So I hope you can.
Yes, you can see
Okay.
me.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so for today, I'll just be speaking briefly on the psychology of winning global opportunities. I think one thing that we should all understand is that global opportunities is they are very accessible, very accessible. And I think one thing I really appreciate is that all of you have done so well academically, and so like stretching further muscles to attain these global opportunities is it's going to be much more easier because you have already done some of the hardest things already. And so I'll just take you guys through like a few steps and a few things I think you guys should know when assessing global opportunities, or even how to assess the global opportunities, and also what kind of mindset to have, how to position yourself, and how to win as much as possible. So yeah, end of introducing myself already. Oh my God, they have done that already. And so I'll take you through just a little bit of myself and my journey through undergrad, and now in my scholarship journey. I'm currently on the Mastercard Foundation scholarship, so I'll take you through that, and then what needs to be in place in attaining some of these scholarships, and then we'll just delve into questions and answers. I'll be as fast and cohesive as possible so that we can obviously have time to ask any kind of question you think you need to know about. Okay, so yeah, this is a bit or just a very few snippets of my journey. I schooled in Nigeria. I studied chemical engineering at Nnamdi Azikiwe University for 5 years, and like you all, I did well academically, and I was a very big part of the school these school activities. I volunteered across so many organizations, across SPE, across SEG. I did a lot of things in school, and I think all of those things were really essential in building me up to this particular point that I'm in now. So over time, as I like go through the slides, I'll possibly like explain how some of these things tied, and also how all of the things that you have done within school can also be like stepping stones or platforms to access some of these opportunities. So yes, after school, I worked a bit. I worked a bit as a graduate engineer, I think for like 8 months with an oil and gas in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria. And then within that period, that was when I applied to the University of Cambridge. So it was, to be honest, Cambridge was not like a school that I was really looking into applying to. I was not, I never even, you know how people say, oh, you, when you're small, you start dreaming that, oh, you attain some of this, you go to University of Oxford or you go to University of Cambridge. I did not have such dreams. And it's not that it was bad or anything. It was just that I was not really, I like some people, I felt like some of these institutions were, top tier for like a certain kind of demographic or a certain kind of people. And so I was like, well, let me just, even if I want to get like a scholarship to school, or even if I want to get into grad school, let me just apply at my level. I don't even know what my level was, but yeah, I was just like, oh, so I saw this, I think I saw this Mastercard scholarship for Cambridge on LinkedIn first. I looked at it and I was like, let's see. I dropped it aside. And then I think two of my friends sent it back, like sent it again to me. And I was like, these some people are sending it to me. Maybe they feel like it's something I can do. And I was like, oh, why not? Let me just apply. What is actually the worst that can happen? At least nobody would know that I fail. If I fail, I'll keep it to myself. Nobody really needs to know that I applied and all of those kind of things, right? But I think one thing that really helped me was the number of things that I had done in school and being able to shape my application in such a way that all of those things I did in school mattered a lot, right? I think, which I would say later, but one thing I want you all to know is that you own your own story, and how you write your own story is how people perceive you. Trust me, my when I was applying for Cambridge, I think I already wrote, I think for Mastercard scholarship for Cambridge is just one essay you need. And for the my department, that one was like 4 essays I needed. But for the Mastercard scholarship itself, it was just one essay I needed. And being able to, and I think it was just like 500 words. So being able to compress and, spotlight your life in just 500 words was um was was very tough. But I think one thing I'll just say is that you own your story. So make sure that when you're telling your story, you're able to spotlight those things that need to be spotlighted. But I think I'll like emphasize one later, especially like the nitty-gritty of things. So yeah, this is me right now in school. I'm almost done. I'm rounding up. I'm currently writing my dissertation. And yeah. So this is where I would possibly spend most of the time, and just like to explain how you should approach global opportunities, what you should look out for, what you should know, and just how to put yourself out there. The very first thing I would say is build a good profile beyond the grades. Most of us here have attained the grades, but outside the grades, what else do you have? So like I mentioned, for the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship, one thing the Mastercard Scholarship looks out for is impact and communal development. So how have you helped your society? How have you contributed to society? Any little way. Trust me, it doesn't really have to be anything so big, so intense, so extravagant. For instance, one of the things I pointed out was during my 400 level, we went on this field trip to Calabar where we had to look at gully sites. Gully sites are eroded sites, like places that have been eroded due to like flooding and all of that. And so we went there, we looked at the sites, we met people that had been affected by those gully sites, people that had probably lost loved ones, people that had also lost like livelihood. And then we did like some sort of campaign around that side and all of those kind of things. But like those are those things that I consider like, I mean, it's what some organizations or some societies do on a normal, just like go on field trips, or those things that you consider very little are some of those things that could be good platforms or good platforms for you to build on some of these global opportunities. Most global opportunities, to be sincere, they want to give people that they have seen, they are seeing like a track record from people that have already done so many stuffs, or maybe not so many, but people that are already in their own little way or in their own small way, they're already like changing the world, you know, they're already making an impact and all of those things. So one thing I would say is that build a good profile beyond your great. Join organizations, volunteer as much as possible. The example I just gave, I was just a student volunteer, and that stuff I did was a major part of my essay when I was writing. You see the way I wrote it as if me, I was even championing the work and all of that. But what I'm just trying to say is that build a good profile beyond your grades. What are you doing for community? A lot of scholarships now, a lot of global opportunities now. They don't want to give people that, oh, they are not even sure that they are going to do, they are going to do good work after they give you after they give you their money, or they give you their time, or they give you their resources. How are they sure that you're going to build on those resources or build on those, that money that they have given you? For MasterCard now, they are sure that I have done good work. So they are happy to give me their money because they know that I'll keep doing good work and I'll keep building on that. So that's really one thing I want to mention. Then second thing I would say is expose yourself to international projects through communities. I know a lot of us are very comfortable with just doing things that we know, doing things that we are very in tune with, or doing things that we have an idea about. But I'll say one thing that you should know is that you should be very open to learning. To be honest, for instance, I embarked on this project with Switch Energy Alliance. Switch Energy Alliance is an international energy firm, and they are very big on promoting energy, especially in Africa, yeah. So that period, I was not a group of, I think they usually have this research hackathon every year. It's even coming up, I think it's coming up this August again. And so in 2023, a group of like three, they're already from their group and they needed one more person. And they reached out to me and they were like, oh, would you want to join on this hackathon? And this is something I had never ever done before, because first of all, it was going to be a research hackathon that would take like 3 months. Secondly, it was an international organization. So I had that fear of, hey, it's an international organization. If I fail, it's going to be worldwide. And then also, apart from that, the work we had to do, because we had to look into the energy systems of 2 different countries, looking at their technological capacity, their feasibility, and some of all the other things that come with it. And so it was like, it was deep work that I had not done before. I mean, the only thing I'm used to in school was like thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, all of this kind of, engineering things and all. And so this was like different. This was looking much more into the business side of things and all of that. And to be honest, that was that project was one of the best projects I had done in my entire life. It exposed me to so many people. I mean, we won a lot of money from that project and all of that. So what I'm just trying to say is that I understand the need to be comfortable with what you know, but sometimes when some of these opportunities come, be ready to just like embrace it, even when you're not even sure of what you're doing. To be honest, I felt like when they were asking me to join their team, maybe they just felt like they needed a fourth person, maybe someone to just, to just make sure their team is complete, because like all of them were like, I mean, they were graduates, and me, I was just like one undergrad and all of that kind of thing. But I think one thing that I would say is that make sure that you get involved with international projects like this. They expose you to people, they expose you to like what every other person is doing in the world. Trust me, the competition is not just you. It's not just you and the people in your school, or you and the people in your environment. This competition is with the whole world. I mean, for instance, just this that Switch Energy competition, we're competing with over 190 teams from like the whole world. Then even the MasterCard scholarship, even if I want to say, oh, MasterCard scholarship, that one is with every other person in Africa. So we should make sure that when we are building our profile, we are also taking up opportunities that are beyond the Nigerian space. We're also exploring opportunities that will enable us see what every other thing that is going on in the world, and how we can. You don't have to even win, to be honest. You don't have to win. You just have to have the knowledge. You just have to have the capacity. And these are things that will forever be with you. I mean, it's personal investment and all of that. So yes. And okay, just to even build on that. So for this project, this Rich Energy project, it was also a talking point during my interview. So apparently, during my interview with my course director, they had already like gone through my profile, gone through everything I said I'd done, and then he was constantly like asking questions about these things. And it was funny because the course I'm currently doing now is a course that looks into like policy, governance, business, and all of those kind of things. So it merges all of these things that had one way or the other touched during this project. And so being able to be in that space where I could talk about my experience, like someone that done like someone that had done work in this space, someone that knew her onions, was a very big deal. So I would say that some of these opportunities, like I say, opportunities beget opportunities. It's once you get to one opportunity, your next best opportunity is going to build on that previous opportunity that you had done before. So the very next thing I'll mention is following directly or indirectly those that have gone through that path. I think I know I post so much on LinkedIn, but one thing I think people really don't know, what I also some other thing I also do on LinkedIn a lot is look at people, like study people's profile. And I'll always encourage it. Like study people's profile, like look at how they have grown, look at what they are currently doing, look at how they have moved from level to level. For instance, currently I've always been someone that wanted to work in the field, someone that wanted to work in the industry, get her hands really dirty and all of that. I still want to work in the industry, but now I'm how will I put it? I'm transitioning to another part of the same industry, right? And one thing that has helped me a lot is going back to study the profile of people, looking at how they have been able to possibly transition from engineering to this, or build their profile from doing core engineering to integrating business or integrating policy into the engineering that they are doing and all of that. So that's what I'll always encourage. Make sure you study people, study how they have grown, study the path that they have taken. You don't necessarily have to follow the exact same path, but that will give you a conscious awareness of how you should navigate your life, what steps you should take, how you should position yourself, what kind of opportunities you should be looking out for, and all of those kind of things. To be honest, if you have any question after studying these people parts, please message them. Okay. I feel like at this point in our lives, we should be shamelessly ashamed. I don't even know how to put it, but you shouldn't, you shouldn't, you're still in a stage where you're building your life. Me, I'm still building my life. And to be honest, was it not 2 days ago, I saw someone that transitioned from one company to another, two companies that I'm really targeting. I sent him a message on LinkedIn that I would like to schedule a call with you. I want to understand why you moved from this to this, and like what different opportunities exist in both companies. And we had a call yesterday, and I'm fine. See, don't be ashamed to message people. Don't be ashamed to send especially when your message is sensible. Please don't come and start hounding people and choking people. That's not what I mean. But make sure that you're genuinely curious about people. You're genuinely interested in how to navigate possibly opportunities or possibly pathways and all of that. You sell your see. Don't be ashamed to like do anything that would make you grow, not illegally anyway, but like make sure that you're not like, to be honest, some of this someone will look up to me now and think that, that I have had such a great life and all of that. While that is true, I have also learned, and I've also gotten some to this point because of so many people. And I did not just only study their profile. Some of them I scheduled meetings with them. Some of them I said, oh, don't worry, let's do this Saturday, I'll buy you coffee, I just want to really learn from you. Like anything that would make you get adequate knowledge, or get direction, or get at some get a clear path or much more clarity as to what you want to do. Make sure that you do it. Make sure that you message. Don't be shy. Message as much as possible. I think that also ties to the next point: network horizontally and vertically. Um, when I say network horizontally and vertically, definitely that means like with your peers and with people above and beneath you, right? And this is so like this is, I think I don't even know how to like really emphasize on this point, because networking is something that has kept me strong, especially in this UK. Oh my God, when I came to this UK, I did not know anybody. I did not have like any family here to start, building my life and all of that. And also I was someone that really wanted to go into like really aside schoolwork, I really wanted to maximize my time in the UK. I really wanted to explore so many things. I really wanted to look into like, you know, job market, look into like the industry opportunities here, look into various opportunities here. And trust me, networking was such a big big help. Even I feel like even back home, Seth, I feel like I was always attending one conference or the other. Okay, so any conference that I knew that I was either going to meet someone I really wanted to meet, or someone, or also I knew that that conference was going to be beneficial in some certain way. Maybe industry experts were coming, or maybe I felt like I needed that knowledge for myself, right? And that was the same thing I did here. When I came to the UK, I also started scouting out for like conferences, talking events, company events that they're going to be like valuable to me. And when I knew that I was going to meet the right set of people, and when I always attend these conferences, I always go there prepared. I'd already probably studied the profile of the person I really wanted to talk to. I already knew how I was going to approach the person. I already knew how we're going to like, exchange contact. After that, I made sure that, after that, I built on that connection and all of that. So make sure that when you're networking with people, you're I understand that it's not easy, especially walking up to people that you really don't know before, or people that maybe seem really high up and all of that. To be honest, it's not easy. But one thing I would say is that make sure that you have built like a track record of following them. You've seen their work online, you have studied how they move, you've studied the kind of things that interest them, and all of those things. And those things are like good talking points when you want to now start building that connection and all of that. Even with your peers, a lot of our peers have like a lot of information, like a whole lot of information. I remember when I was in 300 level, I think it was from some of my peers I learned about the International Petroleum Conference at Saudi Arabia. I'd never heard of it before. Even during that period, it was also when I learned about so many other events, so many other scholarships that I had. Even the SEG scholarship that I got sometime in final year, it was from my peers as well. So make sure that you're also connecting with your peers, not just your peers in your school, but your peers in other schools. Like a lot of people have a lot of information that you don't necessarily know. And maybe for some of us, we probably feel like either too shy or too big to like, relate to people, which I don't get why, because like, yeah, in this life you need people. But yeah, make sure that you're always in a position where you're not afraid to seek help. You're not afraid to walk up to people. You're not afraid to share passion, share like minds with people. Just make sure that you're out there interacting, because a lot of information comes when you're interacting with people. Then another thing I would want to mention is documenting your process and learning to write well. Oh my God, I don't think I can overemphasize this documenting your process, because like for me, LinkedIn has always been a place where I did a whole lot of documentation. I feel like if you go through my LinkedIn page, right from my very first post till now, you will see possibly how I've grown, how I've evolved over the years and all of that. We are living in a world now where everybody wants to see what you have done before they can trust you with any other thing. I mean, if you're applying for opportunities now, they're always asking you either you attach pictures or attach links or attach references. Even when I was even applying for Cambridge, I attached so many things. I gave examples, Taya. Like some of these things, as someone that is looking out or that's in the market for global opportunities, make sure that you're packaging yourself in such a way that anybody that is seeing you cannot resist you. Make sure that you're in their faces. The people that need to see you, or the people that need that need to know that you're there should know that you're there. For instance, I mean, since I came to the like when I came to the UK and I started attending some of these like networking events and all of these kind of things, and then I now started backing it up with some of my posts on LinkedIn, like the number of like, oh, would you mind coming to this event, from higher professionals. Even the last speaking engagement I got, I was like the youngest in the panel, and the lady just messaged me on LinkedIn. I was like, oh, that we see that you have done this. We see that you've done this. Would you mind like speaking on this panel, especially because we want you to capture young minds and all of those kind of things. Nobody will do that if they don't see you. Learn to market your business. Carry your business in your head. So the way you can do this is that you have to document your process, make people aware of what you're doing, make people aware of the kind of opportunities you're looking out for, make people aware of the track record that you have built and how you intend to even sustain that track record. Let people see you and see value. Like anytime they see your name, they're like, this girl, she's a value shining light, that kind of thing. And the only way you do that is documenting your process. I mean, I wouldn't know you or I wouldn't know what you represent if I don't see the kind of work you do. A lot of, even like here, like in the UK, many of the recruiters, when they want to hire you for a job, the very first thing they check is your LinkedIn. They check what you have done, and possibly like your online, like how your online acceptance is, what people know about you, what they would know about, all of those kind of things. So make sure that you are packaging yourself well, you're documenting your process. And another thing I want to mention is learn how to write well. Because like before you can open your mouth to even speak to anybody, especially for global opportunities, a lot of them ask for you to like write essays. And the only way you can convince them that you're worthy of a second chance, which is like the interview point, is when they have read what you have written, right? A lot of them will ask you for maybe essays, 500 words, 200 words, 300 words. And writing has become such a big deal now. Like, I mean, if you don't know how to write, or if you don't know how to sell yourself, then you would miss out on a lot of opportunities, on a whole lot of opportunities. I mean, I feel like every opportunity I have gotten to date, I have written. I have written about it, like every single opportunity I have gotten, I had at some point in the opportunity process written. Like, so know how to write, know how to sell yourself, know how to package everything you have done to be able to convince the third party that you know what you can do. Sometimes I know sometimes we may feel like maybe we haven't done enough, maybe we haven't, achieved that big thing. But even that small thing that you have done, like just make sure that it is well packaged. Make sure you're mentioning the quality of the work you had done, the impact of the work you had done, how it affected people, the results, how you were influenced or affected during the process. Like, make sure those key points that are usually needed in those scholarship or global opportunities application is involved. And trust me, like, I think one thing I mentioned, like I said, was during my MasterCard, like the MasterCard scholarship essay that I was writing, and I mentioned something I had done way back in like 400 level, and I think one thing that helped was making sure I was able to communicate the impact of that work, how I was able to synergize with the team of people that worked on it, how the results was able to like influence governmental actions and all of those kind of things. So I'm just trying to say that make sure that you're right. Make sure you're able to sell impacts with whatever you're writing. Make sure that, and one way to do that is to keep writing. To be honest, it's not as if we become great, writers overnight. Some of these things is because we have applied to so many opportunities. We have failed higher, we have applied, we have also collected feedback from a lot of people. I think one thing that also help is collecting feedback from a lot of people. Write and send to people that that have gone through that stage before. Let them vet your writing. Let them tell you what is wrong and what is right about that work. Rewrite it. Every see, just keep writing. You will get better along the way, right? So make sure you document your process. Make sure you write well, because that is how you sell yourself, right? Then another thing I would say is gather your documents. Start early and research intensely. So some of us want to attain global opportunities, but we don't know how to sit down and do research. We don't know how to. Sometimes on LinkedIn I get messages like, oh, so does this scholarship, does it like benefits people in like people that want to go into maybe social science? I'm like, did you not read about it online? I mean, like, so what? Anyway, what I'm just trying to say is that um being really good, assessing this global scholarships starts with being able to being able to research in depthly, like research. Look at those opportunities you want to assess. While on this call I've mentioned a lot of scholarship, a lot of opportunities. You can always look into them. You can always like go through. I think, okay, for instance, this year there was this scholarship, not scholarship, there was this opportunity I was pursuing. That's the BCG Aspire conference at Spain. And so one thing I did was to go and sleep on people's profile that had gotten that opportunity. I looked at their profile, I looked at what they had done, I looked at how they had positioned like themselves for that opportunity. I even went as far as messaging them, asking them questions about like questions that obviously I could not find online, about like towards like the essays and what was needed for that opportunity. And also, you should not be tired of doing your own homework. The only time when you now ask people is when you are sure that you have exhausted that research and there are still like some certain things where you need clarity on, and you're sure that the other person is going to provide much more clarity on that, right? So make sure you do your own research well. Make sure you have your documents. Some of us want to attain global opportunity, we don't even have a passport, right? I mean, that should be the very, very first thing. When I was applying to Cambridge, they asked, one of the questions they asked on the portal was, put in your passport number. Imagine I didn't have my passport and all of that. I'll possibly have missed out on that. So make sure you have your passport. The passport is like your basic documents. A lot of opportunities now, when you're, especially global opportunities, when you're applying for them, they ask for your passport number, right? And apart from it being essential, it's also a way for them to clarify that you're actually who you say you are. But yeah, make sure that you have all of these things at hand. Start early. If there's any opportunity that you're eyeing, start early. Start looking into it early. Start getting your documents early. I mean, for instance, if you're even looking into the Mastercard Foundation scholarship, it's already open for so many schools. I think Cambridge own opens around like September-ish, right? So these are things that you should already know. Like for instance, when I was applying for the SCG scholarship in final year, I had started planning to apply for that scholarship 2 years before the application, because like because I had wanted that scholarship so much that I already knew the requirements. I already knew the essays. I already fine-tuned my essays so many times. I'd already like reached out to a number of people and all of that. So being able to access some of these global opportunities require hard work, require us to like work to our bones. I remember when I finished school and I was still looking out for what to do next before like I started a job and all of that. I had this like tracker where I was putting in all the applications I had made, where I was also like, I'll put in all the applications I made, the requirements, what is needed, when it's deadline, what do I have to do? Do I have to message anybody? Do I have to look into anything and all of that? To be honest, it's hard work. But I feel like one thing my mentor always says is that like you have already done the hard parts, and all of these things are necessary, like necessary muscles that you need to build to be able to attain like such capacity. And so, to be honest, we have the intelligence, we have the we have the
Sorry, Ma.
experience. Okay.
Sorry, not to cut you short, but we have 2 more minutes. Sorry.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
the next speaker to come on.
No problem. So yeah, we have the experience, we have the everything. So make sure that you just put yourself out there as much as possible. And yeah, this is the end of my presentation. I hope I was able to, you know, speak to you guys as much as I could. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Kaito Chuku. It was an impactful session, and I was just nodding my head. I was following. It was in alignment with some of the things in my head. I believe as our audience too, or our leaders too, also learned so much from the session. Okay, we are going to have a very brief interactive section, very brief, because our next speaker is to come on by by 7:40, and it's almost time, so it will be less than 5 minutes. Okay, I would, if you don't mind, I would start with the question, but I think you actually answered along the line, if I'm not mistaken, because I wanted to ask, okay, we're talking about how to access global opportunities. Like, okay, where do we go to? How do we actually find all of this? And from your explanation so far, you said we should do the basic researching, go online, research things, and all of that. So I think I picked that one up. I have a second, but before I look for it, I can't find it now. If anybody wants to ask a question, please go ahead and unmute your mic. If you have a question, you can unmute your mic, or you can ask using the message box. Let me see if we have any question there. Okay, Mohammed hand is up. You can unmute your mic and speak, please.
All right. Good evening, Kate Chuku.
Um,
Confirm if you can hear me, please.
yes, I can hear you
Yes.
perfectly.
All right. Thanks very much for the session, and it was really insightful for me. It has always been my dream to apply into grad scholarship, grad school after uni, and that is currently what I'm doing. But something sparked my mind when it comes to applying to the school in the UK, which is talking about the English proficiency test. So I remembered last year when I applied into University of Edinburgh, and I was required to submit an English proficiency test. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I was required to submit an English proficiency test, of which I never sat for the GRE and the TOEFL examination. But while I was leaving uni, I was able to get a kind of a letter affirming that all my studies have been in English language. But funny enough, I got a rejection offer, and I followed up with that to make inquiry on what the rationale behind the rejection, so I could improve on my application in the coming one. And one of the things that was mentioned to me was that I didn't provide my English proficiency letter as early as they want. So that really made me sad, actually, to be honest. And I thought, like, is there any other way those kind of things can be avoided going forward? I think that was the first question.
Okay.
And for the second one, which literally ties to Commonwealth shared scholarship. I remember when you're applying to Commonwealth, they used to require you to upload your international passport number. But funny enough, while I was doing my international passport, I had issue with the date of birth. In terms of the month, I remember, yeah, the month, it fails to tally with the one that was actually on my certificate. Do you really think I need to correct that by renewing the passport, even though if it has not expired one, or I should just paste it like that? So, and that will not affect my application this year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed. I will start with your last question, and I will say, to be honest, I think you should you should work on the international passport, like get a new one that shows your accurate details. Because even outside grad school, like a whole lot of other opportunities that you need that international passport for, that they even go into details. Some of them even go into details of checking your date of birth, especially if you want to get visa for some countries. Yeah, they look into that detail, like they look intricately into some of these details. So to avoid stories that touch and to be on a safe side, I would say you should try to get a new passport that has your accurate details. Then for the English test varies by school, to be honest. Like it's very school specific. For my school, I did not write GRE. I did not write TOEFL. Like the Cambridge has a university assessment center where you go, where after they have said, oh, that this person is likely to come to Cambridge, they take you through the assessment center. You have to write a 4-hour English test with the assessment center. It's free. We don't pay for it. They already pay for it. They just want to make sure they assess you by themselves to make sure that you're capable of speaking, of answering questions, of remembering all of these things. So that's Cambridge way. Some other schools, they request that you already have these things at hand, and there are some scholarships that help you provide some of this, like that help you get some of these things, like the Michael Taiwo scholarship, the Education USA. I got the ISI scholarship, but I didn't eventually use it because I didn't need to, because I did not need GRE and TOEFL. So some of those scholarships are scholarships you can look into to that will probably help like fast track your need for, like that will help you have GRE and TOEFL and IELTS at hand before you like go ahead to apply for some of these opportunities. But I would say that while you're doing your research, be sure as to what is the specific requirement for that school. Different schools have their own different needs and procedures. So I hope I was able to like clear that.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kaito Chukwu. And because of our time, please we'll ask our leaders to please compile their questions. Just send in your questions. The group chat is going to be open. Send in your questions, and we'll get them to Miss Kaito, and all of the responses will be made available so that our next speaker can please speak. Thank you so much for your time, Ma. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Please let's
You're
just
welcome.
appreciate our speaker once more. She has done absolutely well. Thank you, Ma. So we'll be meeting our next speaker. Yes, Mr. Samuel Olariwaju. He will take us on mastering scholarships and fellowships. But before then, we'd like to read his profile. Samuel Ogunsola is a dynamic force at the intersection of science, leadership, and global development. As the founder of Impact Leaders Connect, he has empowered over 1,000 young people across Africa through strategic leadership development initiatives, helping shape the next generation of change makers from underrepresented communities. A Venia scholar and PhD researcher at the University of Manitoba, Samuel's work in molecular biology focuses on genetic mutations and their role in human diseases, particularly through the lens of alternative splicing. But his brilliance doesn't stop at the lab bench. Samuel has earned global recognition as a One Young World Ambassador, UNICEF Generation Unlimited Fellow, AstraZeneca Young Health Program Scholar, and Royal Society of Canada Emerging Scholar. He's also part of the Youth STEM Masters Research Board and was awarded the Global Youth Parliament Award for Excellence in Youth Leadership. Samuel's multi-sector influence includes contributions to startup, innovation hubs, and global development programs. He has been featured by Cambridge University, named among the top 50 most influential young global leaders, and contributes to various networks that support health equity, education, and youth-led innovation across continents. Through his leadership, intellect, and compassion, Samuel is not just building a personal legacy, he's opening doors for thousands of African youths to arise, lead, and impact their world. If our emojis are not too busy, can we please welcome Mr. Samuel as he takes on the stage?
Yeah, thank you very much. Uh,
And
wow, that was a very, very good session from Kaito Chuku. And it's amazing when I read your profile. I see that we also have a lot in common. I saw that you volunteered with 60 Vibes. I volunteered with 60 Vibes about 10 years ago, so very close with Jennifer Ochendo, and also saw the amazing works you're doing. That's really good. Um, just to comment, I think for the profile, there is the last part where it says the top 50 most influential young global leaders. I think probably there's a mistake there. So I've not yet been featured by Cambridge University also. So maybe there must be a mistake in the profile. But nonetheless, I'm very, very grateful to Paul and also the team for this invitation. I've been following Top 100 for a while, and you guys are doing amazing stuff. So thank you very much for the invitation. I will share my screen, and but before that, in the past 6 years, I've been invited to come and talk a lot about scholarships, winning fellowships, especially after receiving the One Young God, after winning the One Young God Fellowship in 2019. So since then, I've been invited to give a lot of talks. So that's one thing I've been able to learn is this: many of the people that attend my talk, they already know what to do. The only challenge is they don't have the motivation or they don't believe enough in themselves to take the steps. We've learned a lot from Kaito Chuku today, and to be sincere, many of the things I'm going to say are going to intersect with what she has said. But why attend, a lecture like this or a class like this and then just forget about it and not take action? So the goal of my talk today is mainly to inspire you and to also share some of my stories, or what are the things that I've used over the years to be able to win some scholarships. Just last year, I won the England Biolabs Passion in Science Award among the 12 people globally to win that. And I've also won, got a Varney scholarship here in Canada, which is the #1 PhD scholarship for students. So all of these things shows that there are techniques to these things. There are principles to these things. So you can have a fourth class, which I did, finish as the best student in my class in FUTA, biochemistry. But after I finished for over a year, I did not win anything. I applied to a lot of scholarships. I wrote essays. I did everything with my friends. I even had a friend that applied to over 200 schools, but I did not win anything. But over time, we're able to learn some principles. So the day I got that principle up till today, most times if I apply, is maybe I did not just want to go for the scholarship, #1, or maybe the scholarship is way above me. And that's one thing I used to tell people. When you're applying for opportunities, there are either three things. #1 is the opportunity is below you. So there are some of you here already that there are some things you're applying for that are actually less than you. So you need to identify those things. Where am I today, and what are the things that are below me already? There are some things you shouldn't put your effort into because it's just waste of time. The other one is the scholarship is for you, it's meant for you. You have all the requirements, you have everything that you need to win it, right? So you can go for that. And then the other one is the scholarship is above you. So there are many scholarships that are above us, right? For instance, the Varney scholarship now, if you're currently doing a master's in Canada, even though the scholarship is no longer existing, so now we have the CIHR. But if you want to apply for that scholarship as an international student, you have to be planning to do a PhD, or you're already in a PhD program. So if you are not in any of these things, if you apply for that scholarship, you might not win it. So it's not that you're not smart, you're not, you don't have your good grades. It's just that the scholarship is above you. But it's always good to aim high, and it's always good to look for opportunities on your level and go for them. So anytime you fail, just know that it's either that thing is above you or you've not yet discovered the principles. So today I'm going to be sharing some principles again, which I mentioned that some of them are intersect with Kaito Shiku's own. But one thing we need to know is this: our stories are unique. My story is unique, yours is unique. I did biochemistry. I'm currently working on genetic stuffs. Many of you are engineers, some of you here are into climate change, some of you are into education, you're into law. So what I'm going to, if I go deep into my own details, it might not really help you. So that's why I'm going to share some principles with you, which I believe will inspire you and also empower you to be able to take the next steps. So let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Oh, okay. The Mastering Scholarships and Fellowship.
Yes, yes, sir. I can
Oh,
see
okay.
that.
Okay, thank you. So when I was given this topic to talk about mastering scholarships and fellowships, and then as I said, I've been giving talks on this for a while. But when I received this, what jumped out to me, is how can people stand out? Because that's actually the core thing, how to stand out. We are competing, right? For the Vandy scholarship I mentioned earlier, before you can apply, you have to apply through a school. And for you to apply through a school, you have to submit maybe an application with over 50 students. And out of the 50 students, my own school here, University of Manitoba, can only nominate maybe about 10. And after they nominate, they will nominate into a pool of all students from all the schools in Canada. So you're competing with students from University of Toronto, students from McGill, students from different universities, and these are big schools compared to my school, right? So you have to be able to stand out of all these guys. You get what I'm saying? So if you're applying to Chevening, you're applying to any scholarship, Commonwealth, any scholarship out there, or fellowship, what they are looking for is what the applicant, or the application that can stand out. So you don't want to get lost in the crowd. You don't just want to be, that person. So the reason why many of us are not getting these scholarships or fellowships is not that we are not applying, is that we are not standing out. Right? Our application is not unique. There's no reason why someone should pick up the application and want to go to the next step with you. So you need to be able to present yourself, present your story in such a way that you can stand out. And Katochuk already also mentioned this during our presentation. Being able to differentiate yourself is what will determine whether you will get a scholarship or anything out there. Even with jobs, with anything you're applying for, being able to stand out. So I'm going to be sharing with us today how you can stand out. The first thing is this: why are you applying for scholarship? And this is a very, very important question. I want you to ask yourself, why am I applying for scholarship? Why am I even looking for a fellowship? Why is it that I'm on this call at this time? What am I doing here? You need to ask yourself that question, because the fact that you finish with a first class does not mean that you have to start pursuing scholarship. You need to know why you need it. I have a lot of people that are just, I was like that too at some point. I just look for any random scholarship and I just put in application. No, you shouldn't do that. You have to have a plan for your life, because when you start a scholarship, the moment you apply and they pick you and you get into a program, that's your life. That means you're starting a journey of 5 years. You might be starting a journey of 6 years, 7 years. If you are going for a PhD like mine, I've been doing my PhD now for almost 5 years. Right? So you have to be able to ask yourself, why am I applying for this fellowship? Why is it that I want to become a One Young God fellow? Why is it that I want to become a Mandela Washington fellow? Why is it that I want to be part of this program? You need to have that why, because that the why of that particular thing that I want to do is what will empower you to keep on, staying there. Is what is going to encourage you to, if there's failure around, maybe you apply and they did not pick you, is what will not allow you to just, stay down. You'll be able to step up again, because I need to achieve my why. So if your why is to come for a master's, if your why is to get a PhD program, then that's good. Because when you get that scholarship, you will be able to stand up to it. There are many scholarships that come with responsibilities. Most times we don't check those responsibilities. We just want to get out of where we are. Well, I want to get out of Nigeria. I want to get out of Ghana. I want to get out of Kenya. I just want to go to another country. No, that shouldn't be your purpose alone. You have to think about your career. You have to think about your life. You have to think about the why. And the moment you get that why, is going to be what will empower you to be able to continue. So when I wanted to apply for the Vanier scholarship, there was a why. I just transitioned from a master's program into a PhD, and I look at the funding I was collecting. It was not that much. So I needed something to be able to sustain myself. So that was number one why. Number two is I asked people around me, and they told me that this scholarship is going to open a lot of doors when I'm done with my PhD. So I looked into the future. What's going to happen 5 years after my PhD? What's going to happen 3 years after my PhD? Where am I going to be? How will this scholarship empower me? Okay, I knew from the conversation with people that good, this scholarship is going to help me in my career. So after writing down all of these whys, they are the things that now encourage me, that inspire me to go ahead and apply. So you should ask yourself now, do you even need a scholarship or a fellowship? So if you're someone that you're already involved in a lot of leadership stuff, you're already developing your personal brand, you're already building yourself, why not look into fellowships that will empower you the more? I was also like that. When I was in my undergrad in FUTA, I started an organization called Food and Jeans Initiative. And the organization is aimed at empowering young people and also creating awareness about substance abuse, non-communicable disease, and malnutrition. From that organization, we launched a campaign in 2019 called the 365 Days. And that campaign was a social media campaign. We're posting all around. We're able to make some impact. So I saw that through what I was doing in the organization, I need more knowledge. I need more insight. I need to connect with more people. Then I started looking for fellowships, right? And that was when the One Young God Fellowship came in, and I got it. So you need to be able to know your why, identify it, and let that pursue you to the next step. Don't just do things randomly. This is your career. Before we gain admission to our undergrad program, many of us wanted to do medicine, some wanted to do engineering, but you find yourself in maybe fishery or something else, but you just accepted, okay, let me just do this because this is what the admission they gave to me. But then from that, from there, now you are now in your final year, you finish with a first class, you have a very good CGPA. Now, okay, I just feel, oh, now I have a good CGPA, let me just apply to one school and just go ahead. No, now you have the decision in your hands. Now you have the profile. Now you have everything. So all you need to now think of is, what can I do with what I have? Don't misuse your first class. Don't use it anyhow. Right? Many of us are desperate. You just want to leave and then just look for one scholarship, maybe in Zambia, or one scholarship in Sudan. And then you end up there, and then you found out that, wow, now this is my life. I have to be in Sudan for the next 5 years. You don't want to do something random with your life. So please know your why, know what you want to do, know how it's going to contribute to your life, know how it's going to contribute to your profile, because studying a very good school can open a lot of doors for you. So I want you to take note of that. And the interesting thing is this: the energy it takes to apply to a good school is probably the same energy it takes to apply to the one school there. Maybe you just need to add more effort. So, but we just need to change our mindset. So don't be afraid. Go for the best, and that's how you can, have get to like enjoy even your career after the program. The other thing I will be sharing on is reflecting on our journey. From talking about scholarships and fellowships and all these applications over the years, and being able to review a lot of essays. I've reviewed essays for people applying for Vanier, for people applying for several scholarships, evening, Commonwealth, and what have you. One thing I notice is many people don't get to put everything about themselves when they are writing. They don't get to share their journey. And I don't know why we are afraid to share our story, right? Maybe one of the reasons is what you're seeing on the screen. We don't reflect. You don't reflect on all your experiences while you were in undergrad. A scholarship asks you to write about your leadership experience. Okay, what are the challenges you faced, before? Maybe how were you able to overcome them? And then you just sit down there in front of your screen. You don't even have anything to talk about. The reason is because we don't reflect. We don't reflect on all those experiences. While you were in your undergrad, you did a project. You did a final year project. Imagine all the things you went through. During my own project, I knew what the challenges I went through. I had to feed rats. There was a time the rat, ran out of the lab. I almost fell down, getting to catch the rat. But that was an experience, right? Though you might not put that in your essay, but still, you need to be able to reflect on some of the things you did while you were in undergrad. Some of us here, we volunteered with several organizations, but we don't know how to package the story. Look, each and every one of us here on this call, we have a story. My story is unique from your own. I have my own challenges. I have, great things I've done in the past. I have a lot of things I've done. And if I ask all of us here on this call, we also have our own story. So we need to be able to learn how to bring those stories together for us to be able to access opportunities. And the reason for this is this: every scholarship you see and every fellowship you see that you want to apply to is a competition. You're competing with people, you're competing with Indians, with Chinese, with Pakistanis. Everybody is applying, right? That same opportunity you want in the US is not just you alone. You are not the only one that is smart. People are also looking for it. But the thing is, this opportunity has to come in through a competitive process. They cannot just give it to you. They cannot just say, oh, wow, I like your face. I like the way you look now. Take the Shivling scholarship. It doesn't work that way. They want to judge. They want to, go through a competition to select the best of the best. And the reason for the competition again is because they don't just want to, they don't just want people that are weak to come into the program. They want people that have shown that they have strength. And look at it, we that we come especially from Africa, we've gone through a lot. Some of us here, before we pay school fees, we knew what we went through. Some of us, while we were in school, we had to juggle many things to be able to graduate. For you to even finish with a first class, you knew how many times you had to sleep, maybe go to the library at night. Some people even slept on the road just to be able to graduate well. So you need to be able to reflect on your journey and share your story. My story is unique, your story is unique. And the fact is this: the scholarship, the guys that are selecting the scholarship are only going to pick the guys with the best stories, with the stories that are very emotional, stories that are very logical, right? You have your stories well arranged, right? Right from when you were young up till now, all the things you went through. So that's who they are looking for. So you should be able to learn how to share your story, right? You need to be able to learn how to bring everything down. So right there where you are now, just think of what you've went through. The more you think about it, the more you see that, wow, I truly deserve to have a scholarship. I went through a lot. For my Vanier scholarship, when I wanted to apply, about 3 months before the application, I met with a mentor, and he told me that it takes about 2 months to prepare for the scholarship, because I think I wrote a lot of essays. I needed 4 reference letters, so a lot of things to do. So it will take you like 2 months. I can tell you, in the first 1 month, I did not write a single thing. I was lost, because anytime I want to start the application, it's like a voice just will just come to my head. Guy, are you joking? Do you know the kind of people you're competing with? Right? You're a Nigerian, you're an African, you want to compete with people that that were born in Canada, that had their undergrad here. Go and sleep. I was like that for a whole month. But then one day I just, but one thing I noticed is all through that 1 month of feeling that way, I've been reflecting on my stories. I've been reflecting on all the challenges I went through, studying in a school like FUTA, all the problems, all the things I went through to even finish as the best student in biochem. There are a lot of things I did. So I was thinking about all those experiences, and one day I just, opened my laptop, and then I called some of my friends to help me as an accountability partner. You need people like that. You need to have a team. I'll still talk more about that. And then I just started writing. I just started sharing my story. I wrote as many, you can write as many pages as possible. So when you first start writing, you don't need to, look at the word limit. Okay, you have to write 750 words or 500 words. First, write down everything. And after that, you can now start cutting it. You can now start bringing it together. So you have a lot to share. Write them in paragraphs. Break your life into sessions. When you were in high school, high school, what were the things you went through? Some of you, you're a head boy when you were in school. When you were in secondary school, we call it secondary school in Nigeria, you were head boy, maybe, a library prefect. That leadership experience when you were very young, that's something that is very important. So they are not looking at what you're doing now. Look back into your past and come up with a very great story. So these are all the principles that make people win scholarships. The other one is search for opportunities. Search for opportunities. Many of us are lazy. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm just being real. You're very lazy, and Kaitochuku mentioned it. Imagine you come into someone's DM and ask the person, please, what scholarship should I apply for? You don't have to ask me that. You can easily go on Google. Today, the world we are in now, information is like water, right? You can go on ChatGPT and just type it there. What are the available scholarships in my field? You don't have to be asking me. You don't have to be, coming to people and be looking for people to search for opportunities for you. There are many platforms today that you can just search for. There's Scholarship Cafe. There is, opportunities for Africans. All of these platforms are there. Have them saved on your laptop. Save up money to buy data. Save up money and save up time. If you want to work on your life, you have to separate yourself. You have to, disconnect yourself and find time to search. Yeah, one of my friends then, when we were applying for scholarship, because I was privileged I got my scholarship here in Canada very early, so I got it, I think, some month after my graduation. But one of my friends, it took a while for him to be able to secure scholarship. But one thing I learned from him is this: he will wake up at night when everybody is sleeping around that 1 a.m. He will start searching and applying and sending out emails to professors, submitting applications. He can do that from 1 till 3 a.m. And after that, he's going to sleep. Right? You have to create a time for your life. Nobody is going to help you do this. You have to take the responsibility. You have to own it. And the reason for owning it is this: after you win a scholarship, if you don't know how to own it, how do you want to survive? How do you want to sustain that opportunity? You get a scholarship here in Canada to come and do a PhD is a very intensive program. How do you want to sustain it when you cannot even search for opportunities? How do you want to sustain a scholarship or a fellowship or get there and make impact when you cannot even, take the responsibility to look for opportunities? So there are a lot of opportunities, and one thing about opportunities is this: they are time bound. Right? Shivni scholarship, I think, is for like 2 or 3 months. Commonwealth is like that. Vanuatu is like 3 months. There is a starting time, there's an end time. Right? If you just find out a scholarship a day to the deadline, that's the end. You can't compare yourself to someone that has been preparing for months. If there's a scholarship coming up next year and you know when it's going to come up, why not start applying now? Why not having all your essays on ground now? Why not start reaching out to mentors and people to help you review your essays? Why not take time to start reflecting now? So when you take time, to work on searching for opportunities and you discover them early, you have more time to prepare better. You have more time to do well when working on your application. So this is very important. Another thing that is very important when applying for scholarship is avoid overthinking. Avoid overthinking. This is a very big message for many of us here. We overthink a lot, right? You will sit down on that question for like 5 months. I can't do this. This is not possible. You keep on thinking of why you don't deserve the scholarship. You keep on thinking of the things that you don't have. And I said this: everybody has their own story. Your own story is different from mine. Someone that studied that went through polytechnic before getting into university is different from someone that went to private school. So all of these things are different. You have your own story. So don't overthink things. Once you've looked at the requirements and you know that you don't have to even meet the 100%. If you have, you meet most of the important requirements, go for it. Apply. Put in your application. The more application you put in, the more possibilities of winning the scholarship. If you only apply to one school, there is less chance compared to someone that applied to 10 or 20. Right? And now that we are all here, we are still very young. Many of us, we're all young here, right? This is not the time to buy shoes and buy clothes and buy, things and, invest in all these things. I know it's good. You want to look good, but please invest now in paying for application fees. If you're looking for scholarship, invest now in, getting an international passport, just like Kaito Shuku mentioned. So you need to invest in yourself too. I'll still talk more about that too in the future as I present. But for now, don't overthink. Start applying. Act on the application. Anything you see that you feel that like is going to help you, as I said, know the why. Know why you're applying. And you feel that you meet the requirement, put in your application. At least try out and see how it looks. And if you fail, as I said, it's not bad. Failure is not bad. It's part of it. It's part of the experience, right? When you fail, it's either that thing is below you or it's above you. And when it's above you, keep on improving. There are many scholarships I applied for them that I failed. now I can't apply to them again because they are below me, unfortunately, right? Because as we advance in life, there are some things you just leave behind. There are even many things not at my age, they due to my age, I cannot apply for again. So now that you're still very young, just put in the application, execute it, let it fail, try and see. You might actually win it. You don't know, right? So that's very important. Another thing is this: learn how to tell stories. Learn how to tell stories. Or let me just say this in another way: learn how to write. Learn how to write. Many of us don't know how to write. You don't know how to tell your stories. And as Kaitoshiku mentioned, the more you apply, the better you become. The more you apply, the better you become. The more you write, the better you become. The more you write, the better you become. Learn how to tell stories. Learn how to write sentences. Learn how to write paragraphs. Learn how to write sentences and learn how to put things in structure, in paragraphs. Another way is also read another people's stories. Reach out to people and ask them for their applications. Read how they wrote it. For instance, if you want to win a scholarship again like Varney in Canada, you have to be mentored by someone that have won it before. I was mentored by a guy that won it before, and that's how I was able to win it. And I've also mentored some people, that applied for this last batch. So you need to be able to, reach out to people that have won the scholarship you're looking for, and then use that to apply. So learn how to tell stories. Another thing is, this is a very simple framework you can use to learn how to write your stories in paragraphs. It's called the STAR framework. So the first thing you need to learn how to when you are writing, and this involves reflection. So the first thing is situation. So don't just put things randomly in your essay. Last in 2014 I was in this school. In 2016 I found myself here, and now I don't even know where I am. So by the time the person that is reading the fellowship, the writing, just look at it like this person does not even know what they are doing. So put everything in a framework. So this is a very simple framework used in writing. So talk about a situation. So when they ask you, for instance, okay, Samuel, tell us, what were the challenges you went through while you were in your undergrad program, and how did that challenge help you to become a better person? The first thing I would do is to look for a situation. What happened when I was in my undergrad? Okay, for instance, during my undergrad, I had to take a course called computational biology. And that course, I did not know anything because I don't really have much computer knowledge. That's a situation. I wanted to take a course, but I don't have maybe good coding skill. Then the task is I need to learn how to code. I need to learn how to use Python. I need to learn how to use R. So that was the task. So then what action did I take after the task? Right? I reached out to one of my friends in computer science department, and we created a learning plan. Every Saturday we meet at 2 p.m. and then he will teach me how to write codes. And from there, due to what I've learned, I was able to write the exam and actually score the highest mark. That's the result. That's how to write stories. That's how to share your story. Don't just talk about results. Many of us just share results. I have 10 certifications, 150 conferences. I had A's in this course, A's in that one. It's not just results. People don't just want to see your result. They want to see what you went through. So when they see what you went through, they'll be able to know that you've learned how to manage time. They'll be able to see that you've learned how to work as a team. In a team, they'll be able to learn that you've learned how to discipline yourself. So this is very important, and it shows your whole story. So the STAR approach can be used in writing. It can be used when you're doing interviews, and it can be used when you're applying for fellowships. Own your story and be confident. Another problem I see is people are not confident. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again. Own your story and be confident. Be confident in yourself. As I said, everybody have their own story. Don't think that you don't matter. Don't think that, oh, I finished with a 2-2. Who will care about me? No. There's a reason why you finish with that particular grade, right? Look at that experience, and now you want to become a better person. I can share a quick story. I have a mentor who is currently an assistant professor in the US. When he finished from Futa, he finished with a 2-2. He did not do well, and then he did not know what happened in the first 3 years of when he was in school. He did not just understand what was going on, and before he knew it, his grades were down. But the last 2 years in school, he was able to figure out what was wrong. And those last 2 years in school, he was able to, like all the semesters, he had above 4.5, which is Dean's List. But the first 3 years were bad. But he still finished with 2.2 because those first 3 years affected his grades. But based on his last 2 years, he was able to get into a master's program. And because he was able to figure out his skill and his strength, and that's why reflection is very important. You also need to discover who you are. What are your strengths and weaknesses? He was able to discover himself, and then he went for a master's, finished as the best student in his master's program. Then from there, because of his last 2 years in undergrad and his master's, he was able to apply for GRE and got into a PhD program in the US. And in his PhD program, he was literally called one of the best students in his school. And today, he did his postdoctoral fellowship at Yale, and today is an assistant professor in the US. So look at that short story. And this person I'm talking about just did his PhD, just finished his PhD, I think, a year ago. And today now he's an assistant professor already. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Oh, I see people winning One Young God Fellowship. How can I win it? I don't even deserve it. See what I have. I don't have. You go on LinkedIn and you look at other people's profile. Don't let that one affect you. If you feel other people are sharing their profile, share your own too. The world is an open ground. You're free to share your story. I was looking at some of my stories I wrote when I was, like 5-6 years ago on LinkedIn, and I was just laughing. I can't imagine I was the one that writing those nonsense. But one thing I was happy about is the fact that I kept on sharing all those things there, because that was how I was able to build the community I built today. If I did not share those things, now people cannot believe me if I just come out and just start sharing, because I already shared those bad stuffs then. Now I can share good stuffs. So don't limit yourself. Be confident, right? Put in your application. Share about yourself. Go online and talk about yourself. Don't be afraid, right? There's a saying that a silent mouth, could lead to a silent destiny, right? So you need to talk about yourself. You need to share about yourself. You deserve to share your story because you own it. It's your story. It's not my story, right? It's your experience and it's not my experience. Another thing is embrace failure. I will tell you, all these tips I'm saying, they are good, but one thing that is very sure is that you're going to fail a lot. You are going to fail a lot. So embrace failure, love failure, dine with failure, play with failure, because that's where your success is. That is where your success is. Embrace it. I told you of a friend that applied to over 200 scholarships, and I also have my own experience. After I got my scholarship here in Canada, then my visa was delayed for a year. So I was in Nigeria. That was my plan was to finish my NYSC in March, land in Canada in April. But then I had to wait in Nigeria till December before I came here. During those periods, it was very challenging because at some point I felt I'm not even going to come to Canada again. This visa is taking too long. So I started applying to other schools. I applied for Chevening, Common, and before I got my Canadian scholarship, actually, I applied to Commonwealth Fellowship. Then I applied to, I think, maybe over 20 or 30 schools. I did 2 cycles of application, and all of them, the school will pick me, the scholarship will drop me. The school will pick me, the scholarship will drop me. I mailed hundreds of professors. I think only few responded, and one of them is the one that picked me, and that's where I am now. So this is it. Everything you are applying for, every application you're applying for, there are many of them that are going to fail. But the failure is not the problem. The problem is if you give up. The failure is not the problem. The problem is if you give up, if you accept the failure. Many people have accepted the failure. You apply to one fellowship, they did not pick it. Then, I will never do this again. You can't win anything that way. The people that win are those that will look, you apply for something, they did not pick you. Just tell those people that, they missed a good candidate. That's what I used to say. I applied for something and they did not pick me. Oh, they missed a very great candidate, because now better guys will pick me, right? So look at yourself and be confident in yourself. Know that you are someone that you have value. You have something to deliver to people. You are not there to beg. They are not picking you because they don't have they just want to pick random people. They are picking you because you deserve to be there. But if you don't believe that you deserve to be there, you won't win anything. So you have to have that mindset of embracing failure. Another thing is leverage relationships. Have friends that are going in the same direction as you. If you look at, just like you are on this call now, just look around you. and list your 4 friends. If none of them is going to where you're going, please detach yourself. It's simple. All my friends, right from when I was in undergrad up till now, they have to be aligned with where I'm going to. You have the decision. You can't, you have the decision to choose the people that work with you, right? They are not. You have to make that decision yourself. This is the person I want to be in my space, and these people, they are going to the same direction, because you don't want people that will be weighing you down. Imagine you want to apply for application, the next thing is they call you and they start discussing on things that don't matter, or they ask you to do things that are random. No, you have to have people that are going in the same direction as you. So the first relationship you need to build, people that are also applying for what you're applying for. They're applying for scholarships, work with them. They are looking for fellowship, work with them. They are volunteering, they are leading, they are building organization, join those people. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. By God's grace, I've been in this space. I finished my undergrad about 7 years ago, and I've worked with people all in this space for a while, and I know what I'm saying. The kind of people you work with can determine whether you will win anything. Know that for sure. If people around you are winning scholarship, it's a sign that you will win your own son. If people around you are not doing anything, it's a sign that you two are not doing anything. It's simple. So leverage relationship. Number two, look for people, mentors. You need mentors. Many of the application, earlier this year, I received an award here in Manitoba, the Premier of Manitoba Volunteer Service Award. And this was because a mentor was able to help. You need a mentor. You need people that will inspire you. You need people that will talk to you. Somebody is an award, please apply for it. This is something you need to do. Do it this way, don't do it this way. You need people like that. So many of the opportunities I've received is because I have people like that. You also need people that can write reference for you. You need good referees, right? And the only way you can build this is by volunteering. Volunteer with organizations, people that can write for you, right? If all the people around you are people that cannot even, they can't write reference letter for you, that means you need to build relationship. And relationship building involves honoring people. It involves you being able to, understand them and accommodate them, right? If you're someone that don't know how to honor people, you don't know how to show gratitude, forget it, you won't receive anything. So look for relationship. If you're going into the academic crowd, look for professors in your school currently. Reach out to them, mail them, tell them about your dream. Many of them are ready to support you. But if you're afraid of even sending a message to the professor because of what you did, maybe you did something bad in your undergrad, apologize to them and let them help you. You need good relationships. Scholarship is not a single, you can't just do it alone. Everyone that have won scholarship, I don't see anyone that do it alone. You need people. You need referees. You need people that will help you to review your essays. You need your friends that will tell you what to do and what not to do. You need to be in a community where they share opportunities. So it's not just a one-man thing. Don't think that I'm the only one doing it. And that's why the Top 100 is a very good platform. You have people that are like-minded leaders that can help you and lift you. Follow rules and guidelines. Many of us, we like to break rules a lot. They ask you to write 500 words. You wrote 700. Oh, I want them to read my essay more so they can see that I deserve this thing. No. Follow the rules and the guidelines. Anytime you're applying for something, the first thing they will look for is the people that are breaking rules. Who are the people that are breaking the rules? Because they want to remove people. It's a competition. 500 people are applying for something. They are trying to get to pick only 10. The first thing they will look for are the people that have, people that broke the rules. They ask you to use this particular font type, this particular, documentation type. You did not learn, you did not even look at any of those things. You just did it the way you want. I want them to see the way I want. No, follow the rules and the guidelines, because that's number one. Anything you're doing, look for the rules. What did they need? Okay, they want people that are done with their masters. They want people that have transcript already and their results. Don't just do things, oh, I pray that it will work out. You have to follow the rules. The rules are very, very important. If you meet the rules and the guidelines, it makes things even easier for you. And you also have this rest of mind. You're not praying that, I pray they will not check the word limit because I already, went above and beyond. So please follow rules and guidelines. And lastly, work on yourself. Work on yourself. So when I wanted to apply to the scholarship with the professor I'm with here at University of Manitoba, the first time I mailed him, I was in final year. I was in 500 level then. I was not even a graduate yet, but I sent him an email. And when I sent the email, the first thing he did is he said he did not have any students. So I waited for a while, for some months, and then I mailed him again, and he said he did not have funding. But one thing I noticed was for for this man to be responding to me, it shows that he has interest in me. But I kept on sending the same CV, the same, the same thing, right? And I think that was not good. But I'm grateful to one of my friend, Ademola is currently at the University of Cambridge. So then we're both in Lagos, and he just reached out to me that Sam, there's an opportunity at a school called Anchor University that they're doing a program on bioinformatics training, and the amount there was 10,000 naira. I know, I think that was 2018 or 2019. So 10,000 then, because my alawi as a copper then was 18k. So 10k was not something easy, and I was in Lagos doing my NYS then. So it was really hard for me, but I just took that sacrifice. I cut part of my feeding fee for that month, and then I paid for that training fee, 10,000 naira. I went for 3 days training, and I got a certificate. I can tell you that that certificate was what made the professor pick me. He said he saw the certificate of bioinformatics and I'm like, wow, this boy is actually improving himself. And that's how I got in. Many of you should ask yourself a question. When last did you invest in yourself? Right? You want people to invest in you. You want to get scholarships and fellowship, but are you investing in yourself? Are you buying books? Are you taking courses? Are you improving yourself? Are you looking for opportunities to add to yourself? Are you working on a review paper? Are you trying to publish paper? Are you attending conferences? You're not doing all those things. The only thing on your CV is just your school. And I finished the first class. Forget it, they won't pick you. They're also looking for people they see that they are investing in themselves. And that's how life is. Life only reward those that are investing in themselves. So the more you invest in yourself, the higher your probability of winning fellowships and scholarship, because you also have things to talk about. If I ask many of us to write essays or talk about ourselves, we don't really have much to say because we don't invest in ourselves. If you've attended conference, you've taken courses, you've worked on yourself, then you become better at doing what you're doing. So another thing I'm going to share is, I think I've discussed this with Paul. I I don't do this. This is my first time doing this. I've been talking about scholarship, but there's this resource I think is going to help us, and it's a very simple book. I think about maybe 15 pages that just talk about some basic tips. I've shared many of them here already, but there are some additional tips I did not share in this ebook. I don't know if you I'm not this is not I did not do this because I need money or anything, but the reason for this is because I just believe there are a lot of information that people don't know. And when we talk about scholarships, many of us here already know that, okay, you need to send emails, you need to submit application, but we don't really know all of these basic things. So if you want, is there, again, as I said, this is not because I want to sell, but because I just want to make impact. And the reason why I put a fee on this, I would have given everyone for free, is because anything you don't pay for, you don't value. Many of us can go online and download things, but we don't value it. So when you pay for something, you value it. So, and if you check, it's a very cheap price. But I just hope we'll be able to take this and work on ourselves. That's the goal. I really want everyone on this call, in the next 5 years, 4 5 years, you reach out to me, Sam. I'm glad to let you know that I'm not in Canada, I'm not in UK, I'm not in US doing my PhD, or I'm now part of Mandela Washington Fellowship. I'm now doing this particular program, and I'm grateful for the talk you gave even in 2025. So I'm looking forward to all the great things you guys will be doing, and that will be the end of my talk. Bye.
Wow, that was very, very impactful. Thank you, sir. Thank you
You're
so,
welcome.
so much. I remember you spoke to us when we had our first
Oh,
submit. And I can also remember that we studied the same course. I'm a biochemist. You studied biochemistry. I would never forget that one. Then I can also remember you spoke about networking in that class, how to
mm,
network. Yeah, all of those knowledge, they are still things I apply today. Thank you so
mm.
much for this section. It was
You're
very
welcome.
much impactful.
You're welcome.
I believe our leaders have questions. They are thanking you on the comment box.
Oh,
It's
thank
your
you all. Yeah, I'm
session.
trying to open that. Thank you,
So
everyone. I
please,
really appreciate it. Yeah.
okay, please, if you do have questions, you can raise your hand or you can ask using the chat box. So does anybody have a question? You can unmute your mic and ask if you do have a question, or you can,
Good,
okay.
good evening, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity and all the informations we had today. I'm not going to lie, like I was really, really, really inspired by everything you said today. But sir, sorry, I didn't say my name. My name is Mary Onyechin and but sir, I have a question. Every time I try to apply for scholarship, I normally run away from wherever I see essays because I have tried some of them and I don't go through. So now the main thing is how can we be able to get a very good, efficient essays that can take us down the line to acquire those scholarships. Because sometimes you tell people to please help us to review this essay or this other essay, but still the essay thing has been like a big challenge to me. And I feel like it's also something that has been a big challenge to some youth out there because essays they want to put this, you put this, and then when you do that, you still don't level up to the standard they want. So, sir, what should we look out for anytime we want to put an essay? Is it the English aspect or the story? Because you said something about we should know how to tell story, like in writing. We know how to
Mm,
develop ourselves when it comes to writing. So, sir, how can we be able to get a very valid, good essay that can take us beyond whatever scholarship we want to get? Because different scholarship forums or different scholarship, they have the kind of things they want to see in your essay for you to meet up with their standard. So, sir, what should we watch out for whenever we go for this? We apply for this scholarship. Thank you so much, sir.
yeah, you're welcome, Mary. So the first thing I would say is when you're writing anything or when you're talking about yourself, it's all about the mindset. You first need to know this that it's not just about you applying, it's about who you are that you're applying. It's not, let me say that again. It's not about what you're applying for, you writing an essay, it's about who you are when you are applying or when you are working on an essay. So and this goes back to you developing yourself. So when you've applied to several scholarships and you notice that they are not picking you, or maybe you're afraid of the essays, you don't want to do it, why not sit back and actually ask yourself, how can I learn how to write better? That's question one. Question two is, how can I share my stories in a better way? Let me tell you this. There's a book I was reading about self-doubt when writing. The reason why many of us are afraid of writing is because we are not working on ourselves. We are not improving on ourselves. If you have things to write, I can tell you you're going to write well. The other thing is when writing, start from you can write in maybe chronological, steps. So number one, you can start with, when you were young, and that's why I said reflection. Most of the things I talked about today is mainly about writing, and the reason is because I knew that's the number one problem many of us have, being able to talk or share, talk about who we are. So look for when you were young, write down your experience, right? List out your experience. What are the things I went through? Who am I? What are the skills I learned? So start from then till now. So don't just put everything yet into a sentence. First, list out everything. So when you now list out everything, then start using the approach I put here. So I can just go back. So the approach I put here called star framework, which I shared earlier. Use this star framework to write things in paragraph. And don't wait until opportunities come before you start applying, right? Or before you start writing. Even now, you can start writing about yourself, right? And you need to also, part of what makes writing work is reading other people's essay, which I think you asked about. So one thing you can do is to go online, go on Google and just search for essays. There are people that have uploaded their essays online, right? Just reach out to them and ask them, okay, how, or just read their essays and see how it works. And oh, there's one thing I also want to mention, but if it comes back, okay. Another thing is use ChatGPT. You're allowed to use AI, but don't use AI to write. I'm going to say this to everyone here. Don't just go on AI and just ask AI to answer your question. No, don't do that. The moment you do that, you've lost the opportunity. And if you're doing that, you're not helping yourself. You're not becoming a better person. The only way you can improve yourself is to be the one that first write the first thing and then ask AI to help you improve on it. So that's also another thing. The world we are in today, and that's why it's becoming very hard. Everyone that is applying to this application to they know all these things. So you have to look for ways to distinguish yourself, which goes back to working on yourself, right? Become a better person, attend events like this, listen to people, go on YouTube, follow, listen to people, invest in data to build yourself. I can tell you, if you focus on yourself for 3 months and really work on yourself, the next application you will put in, you will get it. Okay. Is there any other question?
Thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for
you so much,
answering.
sir. Thank you so
You're
much, sir.
welcome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a question.
Okay.
Um, Good evening, sir, and thank you very much for
Okay.
the presentation. It was very impactful, and I learned a lot. So, please, my question is there a difference between a statement of purpose and a personal statement? Because I sometimes you just go online and check things and see, oh, so, okay, maybe some schools need statement of purpose, some schools need a personal statement. So, please, is there a difference between the statement of purpose and a personal statement? Thank you very much, sir.
There's no difference between the two. So statement of purpose and personal statement, they are the same. But it now depends on the kind of application. So just to clarify that, uh, when they ask you for personal statement, at times it can be, again, it depends on the kind of application. So for instance, in Commonwealth, they are mainly based on your academic performance, right? So you might need to like talk more about that. Why for Shivning, you have to talk more about your leadership. So the name can be in different ways. They can call it even statement of intent, right? So most times it's still the same thing. So you just need to understand what they want in the essay. So they don't just ask you to write a personal statement. And if they ask you for that, they just want you to talk about why you are the best candidate. That's just the meaning. More like they want to interview you, right? Or they ask you to write a leadership statement. That's already clear. What are your leadership skills? What are your experience? So a personal statement is tell me about you, personal statement, the person, right? Your statement, who you are, what makes you the best candidate. So just like you're in an interview and they ask you, who are you, right? So you want to put everything down in detail. So that's that. And in relation to the application, in relation to the application you're submitting, right? So you need to look at the school. If you're trying to apply to a university, let's say in the US, you need to study the school. What does the school want? What's the program applying for? Who is the professor I'll be working with? All of this has to be detailed. And when you then do that, you can now write your statement based on that. Okay, this is who I am, this is where I came from, this is what I studied, and this is what I want to do. Right. So that's very important. So most times these names are the same, they just use them interchangeably, right? So you just need to know what statement are they looking for in relation to the application, right? If it's a fellowship, they might ask you some. Most times they ask for leadership experience, right? Just to know that the fellowship will benefit you, and also you will benefit the fellowship. And that's one thing we need to know. We are not just going for all these things because they want to help us, right? Let that mindset leave us, especially we from Africa. We think that they want to help you out of where you are. We are in Nigeria, they want to come and help you. Nobody's helping you. Everybody's looking for someone to that can help them go forward. That's humans for you. My professor needs me because I have some skills that will help his research, right? The fellowship they're applying for, even though they say they will give you money, why are they giving you money? Who gives money for free? They need you because you have something. Maybe you have an organization they want to invest in so that they can make impact. One young God, several times I've published the works I do, right? They put it in their impact report, they put it there because they also benefit from me. I'm part of the fellowship, I'm an ambassador, but they also benefit from the impact I make. So look at it from your own angle. I deserve to be here, right? So share your story from that angle of you being, you deserve to be there. Not that they want to help you. Nobody is helping you. You carry something, and that's why they need you. Yeah. So
Thank you so much, sir. Because of time,
mhm.
um, if you have more questions, please drop them on the chat or on the group chat on WhatsApp. We'll see how we can get them to Mr. Samuel and you get your feedback. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. We are honored to have had you speak to us this evening. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I believe we've learned a lot from two of our speakers, Miss Kaito Chukwu and Mr. Samuel. And Miss Kaito Chukwu is still on the call. Beautiful enough. Please let us give her a round of applause. She's an awesome person. I just saw her. She's still on the call. And thank you, Mr. Samuel, too. We are honored to have had But to have had you speak to us, it was very much impactful. Thank you so much. So Project 100 scholarship. So this is a project Top 100 is embarking on. We want to, as part of its expanding impacts initiative, Top 100 is set to launch the Project 100 scholarship, a continental effort aimed at paying the school fees of 100 underprivileged children across the 5 African countries. This project is designed to go beyond recognition and actively invest in the next generation of African leaders by removing financial barriers to education. It reflects Top 100's commitment to not just celebrating potential, but nurturing it, starting from the grassroots. I know if you walk on the streets of Nigeria, Lagos, you would see kids hawking why they should be in school. I don't buy that concept of education is scam. And I believe all of us here do not also buy that concept of education is scam. If it's scam, then we have no business being on this call. Education puts you ahead of everything happening in the world. It can never be a scam. You just need the right mentorship, the right information, the right knowledge, and we can forge higher. And that is why we are top 100, and that is why we are all here. So we are trying to get to 100 children on the streets of the 5 African countries that we can get to, pay their fees, and ensure that they are in school, they are learning, they are doing something. Because the truth is, if we don't catch them young now, they would, unfortunately, most of them would turn out to be the terrorists, the criminals, and etc. So this is what Top 100 is currently embarking on. Then there is also Learning Planet Institute. I believe we've talked about this in our opening ceremony. It's like we are in conjunction with them, and basically they have they have a challenge that will be out by September, and we are putting it out to all leaders in Top 100. You can send in your applications. Now, what will your applications be? Learning Planet Institute is basically based on education and the 17 SDG goals. If you don't know what that is, just Google 17 SDG goals: no poverty, sustainability, good housing, etc. etc. There's so much. So your project would be revolving around these SDG goals, right? So if we get in your applications, would explain the whole submitting process. And if it is, yeah, someone just said zero hunger. Yes, it's part of it. And if it is good enough, good enough, hopefully Top 100 and her candidates gets to win something. So thank you once more for attending the second day of the African Future Leader Summit 2025. It's a pleasure to have all of you. You're the real MVPs. And like I would always say, it's not just to, okay, the pool, okay, sorry, hold on, I would confirm. It's not just to, come to class, listening to everything, and then no work, no nothing. Motivation is like when it comes, we are all fired up, we are all gingered, we are clapping, we are saying thank you, we are happy. The thing is, if you don't actually work on it immediately, it dies down. True of us. If by this night you don't start putting things together, it dies down. So I would ask all of you, go back to what you've heard. See my notes, they are still here. I wrote quite a lot. So I'm going to review all of this night. So go back to what you've heard, start making your plans, and then believe in yourself, and you would achieve it. Thank you so much to our speakers for today, Ms. Kaito Chiku and Mr. Samuel. It was a pleasure having you speak to us. Thank you so much. Then for the pool, okay, for the pool, we are not going to have the pool today. Sorry about that. We are out of time, but then we'll do that for the next submit. So if you don't mind, you can please put on your camera so we can have a snapshot. You can just put on your camera, show us your beautiful faces so we can have a snapshot of everyone around. If you do not mind, yeah, you can put on your camera if you're still around. The slide, we'll see if we can get the slide from the speakers. If it's been made available, then we'll share with you on the group chat. I hope that is settled. I'm not seeing many cameras active. Put on your camera, the snapshots will be quick. All right, thank you for putting on your camera. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. So with that, good night and have a wonderful time. Thank you so much.